Whew, I'm in Texas recording this. I know I didn't talk about what I was reading last week, but this week I read Someday Somewhere by Lindsay Champion. This is an advanced reader's copy that I got from conference, and it came out April 3rd, so this is brand new. I'll read this blurb on the back really quick. There are at least 50 people on that stage, but I can only see one. The boy with the wild black hair playing the violin like the world's most beautiful madman. Dominique cringes when her class is bused from New Jersey to a concert at Carnegie Hall. We don't belong here, she thinks as they enter the gleaming lobby. We're too loud, too rough, too poor. But when the concert starts, Dom is swept away by the soaring music and by the sight of the boy in the front row. With the help of her best friend, Dom sneaks back to the city to find this boy, Ben Tristan, one of the most gifted musicians of his generation. Soon, Ben sweeps Dom into a world she's never known before, full of jazz clubs and opera, infatuation, and possibility. But Dom is posing as someone she's not, and Ben's obsessive playing conceals a darker truth that may tear them apart. This haunting novel explores the redemptive power and limits of first love. I was drawn to this book because one of the characters is a violinist, and I played the violin for like 8 or 9 years. So I picked it up for that reason, and I love New York and I love the possibility of New York, and so I was drawn to it when reading the back cover at conference. I'm not gonna do this spoilery because it just came out, and so I think that if you really want to, you should go and read it because I really did enjoy it. It was like one of those things you just kind of pick up and read, and I kind of flew through it, honestly. I didn't start it until like Monday afternoon, and I finished it Wednesday night on my plane here. So some things I loved about it: it was told in dual perspectives, so you get to hear from both Ben and Dominique, and it's cool to kind of get both of their perspectives on how they see the other person, so that's really fun. Dominique is half Ecuadorian. Her best friend, who she calls Cass because their favorite movie is Casablanca, he is a tall black dude who, according to Ben, oozes cool, and he is musical obsessed and obsessed with New York too. So I think that's some cool representation in this book. I think it's fun to have these characters, people of color, be portrayed in regular normal books. So some other things I liked about it: it's a really interesting portrayal of first love. The interesting thing about how Ben sees Dominique and how Dominique sees Ben and how they see themselves is really fun. Dominique thinks she's awkward and too loud, too rough, too poor is what she says. They don't belong. According to Ben, she is gorgeous and fabulous, and he thinks that she is incredible and she thinks that he is incredible. And so seeing how they see each other through the other's eyes is really fun. Ben and the way that he describes how he hears and feels music is so incredibly accurate to being a musician, especially a musician of a high caliber. I think that the way that they describe how he looks when he's playing as well as how he feels when he's playing is a really accurate portrayal of a musician and of an artist. Lindsay Champion, this is her first novel, which is fun. I think it's a really good debut. I really did enjoy it. I'm like completely exhausted. I wonder if you can tell from the amount of like non-words that I'm saying. But I don't really have too much else to say about the book. It's a great read. It's, you know, really solid. It's a fun YA book. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. I just dropped it on myself. Someday Somewhere by Lindsay Champion. It's a real lovely romance, and it's a fun story. I did enjoy it. So what am I reading next? Whisper by Lynette Noni. This is another advanced reader's copy. I'll read the blurb for you. For 2.5 years, Subject 684, Jane Doe, has been locked underground in a secret government facility, and in that time she hasn't uttered a single word, not even her real name. Now, in a last-ditch effort to get her to open up, the authorities have put her in the care of the mysterious Landon Ward. To Jane's surprise, Ward is kind. He seems to care about her. Jane's resolve begins to crack in spite of her best efforts to resist. Just as she's starting to think she might get her life back, a freak accident reveals her darkest secrets and the dangerous power she's concealed for years. When she speaks, things happen, and suddenly, finding her voice is a matter of life and death. Australian author Lynette Noni deftly weaves suspense and magic, romance and mystery in this riveting North American debut. This book goes on sale May 1st, so I thought that it would be a fun one to review as well because it's not out yet. I'm excited about the mystery aspect of it. It sounds really kind of dark and eerie, and I think that'll be a really fun sort of read. This is YA as well, but I don't read a lot of like YA mystery, and this seems like it's gonna be that. So I'm excited to read it. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you guys next week with Whisper.